We are live. What's up, everybody? It is October 13th. It's a Monday night, and it's a Victory Monday again for the fifth time this season, which is absolutely unbelievable. I feel like we are dealing with the victory gods here. It is a wonderful, wonderful way to start the week. I'm here with my brother, Andrew. I'm David. We are the Huskers. Love for everybody who's been following us and continues to follow us to continue to follow us across Huskers, Twitter, as well as Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all the way across. Check out Huskers. And welcome to the show. Andrew, how are we feeling on this Victory Monday evening?
I mean, I still feel like I'm catching my breath from Saturday. I don't know that I ever fully returned back to reality and planet Earth, that we actually put together a game-winning drive. It was an otherworldly experience, an out-of-body experience. I'm still levitating somewhere, but yeah, good.
Good. We're feeling good. We're here. We're going to kick this show off on a somber note, but a grateful note.
Uplifting.
An uplifting note. We were, so the last 2 weeks really have meant a lot to us. So our grandmother, who we mentioned a few weeks ago, is one of the very avid listeners of the Huskers podcast, passed away 2 weeks ago, the morning of the Michigan State game. So very sad for both of us, but we spent the weekend together in Lincoln at her house, celebrating her life of 93 years. So a tribute to her. She's one of the big reasons that we are all Nebraska fans. She's passed away at 93, but has been a Nebraska fan her whole life. And so that goes back, 50 plus years of season tickets, almost 60 years of season tickets. I tried to add up over the 93 years she's paid attention, or at least followed or listened to over 1,000 games. I call her after every single game, miss calling her the last few weeks, obviously, but a very special, she was with it all the way till the end, even in her dying wishes were to beat Michigan State and to beat Maryland. So very thrilling that the Huskers were able to pull it off, especially on the day she passed, to beat Michigan State, and then the day of her funeral to beat Maryland. So shout out to Gaga, who's, means a lot to us and was able to bring us together this weekend. Anything for you, Andrew?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a somber situation and stuff there, but I think overall, it is kind of fascinating how sports can kind of create this bond. Obviously, she was the best. She is an awesome lady that I will absolutely never forget, but she was one of the huge reasons that we got into Nebraska football. We used to go down, walk in with the band with her when we were kids and stuff. And so these are memories that we will absolutely always have, forever. But also just her eternal optimism kind of rubbed off on us. She was one of the original ones that would say, well, maybe this is the year that we put it all together and turned it around. Even in the darkest of Scott Frost days, she was with it till the end. And it's, looking around after we had the funeral service and stuff, and I didn't verbalize it because I was so nervous and sweating and puking on myself during that fourth quarter, but all of her family and extended family in the same room cheering on the Huskers is what more could you ask for, I guess? And I don't know what more she could ask for. She's probably looking down, pretty proud of that. So, and proud of the Huskers. We did it.
Proud of the Huskers. Yeah. I mean, the
cool
fight song played at the funeral to be processed out. I mean, the Huskers were through and through a big part of her life and a big part of our lives. And I think anybody who's a Nebraska fan can relate to that, where, if you're, as the bloodline passes through from grandparents down to parents down to kids, I think it's a special bond to share with multiple generations to have the Huskers to cheer for. And, it was a connecting string for all of our generations, and we'll continue into our kids as well. So shout out to Gaga. Thanks for bringing us together this weekend. But with that, we got a Victory Monday to talk about, which is amazing. But first, before we've been completely hijacked from our Victory Monday, that
a little rude,
didn't even get to enjoy really a full Sunday of a Victory Monday, because Penn State went, and on Saturday, I mean,
took the nuclear option.
The most unbelievable 16-day stretch in the history of college football. Hey, there's Polo. Polo, how we doing? The most unbelievable stretch in college football that I've ever seen. So Penn State fired their coach, James Franklin, yesterday. 16 days ago, they had a 1-touchdown lead in overtime over Oregon with a chance to beat them and become the number 1 team in the country. That was 16 days ago that they were number 4 in the country. Since then, they lost in overtime to Oregon. Not really that bad of a loss. Went out to UCLA, lost, and then lost to Northwestern. So 3 losses, a kind of a rough 3-game stretch for a team that won 13 games last year, that was 1 play away from the national championship game, that's won 10 plus games the last 3 years and 6 of the last 7. Fired James Franklin. I mean,
careful what you wish for.
Absolutely nuts. What's your reaction to them firing him?
Okay, well, instant reaction was these people are absolutely insane. Like, everybody in college football is insane. Like, the fact that everybody thinks that if they don't win the title, I mean, it's reminiscent of Ohio State fans last year. They almost fired Ryan Day, and then they won a national title. Now, I don't know how close they were, but the fact is, there were thousands of people that wanted Ryan Day fired, and he won a national title. Like, that's the unrealistic expectation that not just Big Ten and SEC fans have, but like so many teams put these coaches through an absolute boiler and expect to win it all, and only one team gets to win it all. So it's just crazy to me. They never got over the plateau, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to rationalize
they
in my head.
did last year, though. They made it to the semis.
Right. So they won enough big games to make it to the semis. He was 1-11, I believe, against top 10 Big Ten opponents, and that was his undoing. Was big game James was not a big game performer, and that was just, he couldn't get through that. Would I have done it? No. Again, like, yeah, you're a play from beating Oregon this year, and he's still around. And they're not losing to UCLA, and they're not losing to Northwestern if they beat Oregon. Like, it's just the trajectory of your season completely changes. But now you're like, I mean, it is like a burn the athletic department down, like cut the anchors, send the boats. Everything is on fire situation. The only other thing I can say is that it wasn't the Oregon game. It probably wasn't the UCLA game, but the Northwestern loss, like, how
It's bad.
I don't know how you come back from that.
I
don't know how you come back from that.
It's a bad loss. It's a terrible loss. I guess, yeah. And the only reason, look, the reason it matters to us, first and foremost, is because the number 1 name that has sprinted up the hot board is Matt Rhule.
Right away.
I think, I mean, initially I was celebrating when they fired him. It's like, great. Now Nebraska plays Penn State in 3 weeks. That was a guaranteed loss on everybody's schedule before the season. Everybody was like, we're not beating Penn State. They're preseason number 1. They have this, they have an All-American quarterback coming back. They've got an All-American running back coming back. There's absolutely no chance we beat Penn State. So I watched the last 3 weeks and was like, great. Like, they stink. And they can't beat Northwestern. They can't beat UCLA. They're not going to beat us. So, like, there's a win for us. And then all of a sudden yesterday, like, the everything started rolling, and I kind of like, I think there was always the like thought in the back of my head that, like, obviously that's the number 1 thing everybody's concerned about, but I was like, it's not realistic. But the smoke nationally and locally that Rhule is a top candidate because of, 1, he's an alum, like, he played there obviously at Penn State, and 2, and this one is probably more concerning, is the athletic director Pat Kraft at Penn State, who was formerly at our alma mater, Boston College, before.
Super fun. All these connections are so fun.
All the connections. Well, here's before he he was there 2-3 seasons before he took off and left. But Pat Kraft, who's the athletic director at Penn State, was the athletic director at Temple with Matt Rhule way back in the day, back when they were both at Temple together. They both rose through the profession together and rode Temple's rise all the way through to bigger jobs from there. They are best friends. They sound alike. They talk alike. They apparently talk incessantly. So I think that's the number 1 place. Both Rhule and his wife, Julie, have met at Penn State. They're from Penn State. Their hometown is Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And really, this is the only probably job out there that is concerning that Rhule jumps to. I think I think that's what everybody is feeling, is like, okay, whoa, this popped up. Now, I guess here's where I was like working through it, and it's like there's been like a wild like range of emotions on the online of obviously I think the true Nebraska fans who are like, yeah, we can't like let him go. He's doing good things here. We want to keep him. There's plenty that are like, yeah, let him go, whatever. This team's not good, like whatever. But the interesting flow of the lack that Rhule has for the Penn State job to me is like James Franklin can't get him over the hump. He can't get them to win the big games. He can't get them to be top 10 teams. Neither is Matt Rhule. So you're kind of like, you guys are chasing this guy who can win a national title, and like Rhule's like 2-22 against top 25 teams. He's never won one in Nebraska. His record is 17-14 here. Like, I think we are absolutely on the rise, and he is going to take us there. But like, for you to try to plug in Matt Rhule into James Franklin and be like, yeah, flip the switch, like win a title, like he's never really done that.
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of at too. Like, one thing that I've noticed on Twitter, which is not a good representation of the entire fan base, as it turns out, it's just the psychopaths, but that are like following us as Penn State fans now. But it's kind of a divisive name, which is interesting because you have to admit, as a Nebraska fan, like me and you said this like 2 years ago. If James Franklin gets fired, Rhule's gone.
I never thought they'd do it.
But not, right.
Why would you fire a coach that wins 10, 11 games a year?
Right. Like you have to admit, he's kind of a good fit. He's like, if anybody in the country can start to stabilize an athletic or a program, it kind of is him. Like, that's exactly what he did here. I mean, the fans were just like up in arms. We had just fired the prince that was promised. We sent him on his merry way down to his retirement home in Arizona. And he came in and started to even everybody out a little bit, like he's got coach speak down. He's got branding down. He's got like the podcast. He's got everything that like Penn State could want from the outside. It's just that on the field level, like, I feel like they're kind of looking for somebody that is like, he's got all of that going for him, but I think they just want somebody like Signetti. Like, I think they want to go right to the top, that every single person sees the hire and they say, whoa, this is big. Like, if you hire Rhule, you potentially are hiring the same level coach, if not maybe even a little worse than Franklin. Like, his win percentage is worse. He hasn't beat as many ranked teams as him. I don't know. It's interesting.
There's just no. That's what's like delusional about the Penn State fans. Where then I started to get into it. They're like, wow, wait until we get him resources at Penn State, and he'll be able to do way better than he is at Nebraska. I'm like, what resources does Rhule not have? Like, we've got resources.
I think Rhule has done a very good job stating that he's got everything that we want. The one thing he said today is we need more money on the NIL front, which
I thought was great.
And the other big things that he said in the presser, though, like, I don't think he did a good enough job of hosing out the Flames a little bit. Like, he did. Like, the first thing that he said was like, God, I love Pat Kraft. Oh man, I love that. I love that
I'm
place.
From there. I love Penn State.
I like there.
And I love the state, the city. I love the athletic director.
You're like, stop it. Start talking about the things you hate about Happy Valley. Like,
or just I'm not taking it.
But his whole, like Ryan Schro here says from Facebook, he's not gone yet. His whole inner family is in Nebraska, and it's true. Like, as any parent, like, you're kind of looking for stability in your life, and if he's trying to find that permanence, he has said all along, Rhule himself has said, like, we love it here. Julie's starting a small business in town. He mentions that all the time. He's got it. His kids are in Lincoln. They're doing group volleyball and stuff like that. He's got a son trying to go to college there. Like, all of these things the arrow points towards, like, he kind of wants to be here a few more years, but it's tough to say no to your alma mater. Like,
it's hard to say no to alma mater,
but I mean,
you got to figure Scott Frost serves as the cautionary tale of this thing, though. Like, you go there and the bar is national championship or bust. You're going to get booed out of town. Your family's going to get booed out of town, just like Franklin's. Like, they're booing Franklin's kids. They boo Franklin's kids at his school. Like, I don't think you want that.
Who wants to take over where 10 wins isn't good enough?
Yeah.
That's
I
a
also
tough
think that,
choice.
and the number one thing that he said, like he absolutely did not help to calm this thing down. Like it blew up afterwards of like him saying all the things that he loves about him, all that. But the one thing he did say that I appreciated was he was like, "This is good, guys. Like this is good. That it means we're winning. Like it's way better to be a coach that is wanted
Yeah.
than to be a coach on the hot seat." He's like, "I was just on the hot seat in Carolina. It's not that fun, you
True.
know." And when you're the fired coach, nobody wants you. Everybody just wants to fire you. Everyone wants to boo you out of town. Like it's good to be the coach that's wanted. It's good to be the coach to have a coach that's wanted. As like no, look back at our coaches. Nobody wanted Frost. Nobody wanted Pelini. Like Pelini never coached in Power 5 again.
Youngstown State wanted Pelini. Disagree.
Youngstown State wanted Pelini. Mike Riley never coached Power 5 ever again. Bill Callahan never coached Power 5 ever again. Like we finally have a coach that like wants
analyst jobs or whatever. Yeah.
You know, Solich never coached Power 5 again. He went to Ohio, right? So it's like, we've had all of these guys that just never went and coach anywhere ever again. Trent Bray just got fired up at Oregon State. Like all these guys gone. So we'll end there, and I want to make sure we jump into Maryland because we have so many good things to talk about. Yeah. Oh shoot.
Oh yeah. I mean, the final thing is that he also said was like, okay, so you think that if players are playing well, they're not getting hit up to leave? Like it applies to players, it applies to coaches. It like I absolutely guarantee Penn State is calling. Like if you think they are not
he's
calling
friends with Pat Kraft. They're definitely like
least, yes, of course. Like he and Rhule, for God's sake, he might have even known this was going to happen. Like
yes, I mean he's literally best friends with their athletic director. Like guarantee they're talking, guarantee they're having. But also Rhule makes he's in the middle of a $75 million contract. He's making 8 to 10. He makes more than James Franklin right now. Penn State's going to have Penn State has to pay $50 million to fire him. Yes. And then they get so there's going to be a play they could probably make to him. But
although they would only owe Nebraska $5 million to take Rhule, which is kind of crazy.
But they got to pay their own 50. I just think it's money probably doesn't matter. Anyway, I don't think he's going to take it, or I don't think they're going to give it to him because I just think it's not the hire that they want. Like it's not a they need something that's like, oh yeah, duh. Like it literally need like a Dan Lanning, Ryan Day, or something.
Yeah. Like everyone wants to know that they're
going after Matt Rhule would be like, oh yeah, because of what he did at Temple. Like what?
I love that the top other two names are like Urban Meyer and Nick Saban.
Yeah, it's like Saban, and then they're like, well, Signetti will come, and Signetti's like, I'm not going there. They're also like pretty irrational. Like they haven't won a title since '86 or whatever. It's like, why do you think you're just gonna win?
It's a tough place to be.
All right, Rhule staying. We're going to keep it at that. We got Minnesota this week, but let's talk Maryland.
Yeah.
Here I'm gonna throw something at you that right as we kick this thing off, and we didn't talk about this beforehand, but I just remember I want to talk about it. So we had a comeback win for the first time in forever. We watched it together. We don't normally watch games together. We live in separate places. Which was very fun. Watch with our dad, watch with our brothers, siblings, cousins. Very, very fun. Everybody in that place, in the stadium, in the room, on the internet, probably felt at some point during that game we were going to lose. Correct?
Guilty,
right. Everybody felt this way. And as you're watching this final drive, this is because, this is Stu Manji, who posts this after every single loss. And I forgot this was out here, and I just saw it because Nick Bauer talking about it this morning. He posts Nebraska's final offensive possession when tied or losing by 8 points, one score or less. 2018 to 2025. He posts this after every single game.
Not good.
So when tied or losing by 8 points or less on the final drive, what have we done? 33 different games.
Okay.
Guess how many of those 33 games on the final drive that we had the ball with a chance to tie or win the game? How many of those 33 games did we score?
Any points?
Any points.
There was like that Northwestern win. Was that Lane McCollum?
Yep, that's one.
Okay, so 3 points there. Wow. The got 2?
3. 33 times that we had the chance to tie or win the game on the final drive of the game. And we scored 3, and we won 1. 33 times.
That's before Maryland.
This was the first time. This was the fourth time we scored and the second time we've won.
Holy
Down
moly.
8 on the final drive of the game. 25 of those ended in turnover.
Oh,
6 ended
25
in
out of 33?
punts, 25 turnovers, interception. I mean, this is where I was thinking about this and Nick Bott talked about it on his podcast and a few others have talked about it of
God,
when you go into that final drive, and this to me is we're jumping all the way to the end
that
of
is
the Maryland
devastating.
game. Of that to me is the difference that Rhule has or could have or could bring.
Yes.
That nobody else has had where as you're oh, he doesn't have what Adrian Martinez had. Adrian Martinez is on this list every time. Interception, missed field goal, interception, punt, interception, fumble, turnover on downs. That's Adrian Martinez's final drive. Interception, turnover on downs, safety, punt, turnover on downs, interception. I mean, it's diabolical every time Adrian had the ball in his hands with a chance to tie or win the game. Never did it. Rhule is only on this list 3 times, of which, no, actually he's on 4. He also has done interception, fumble. This is the first time he's done it. Wow. So out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times he's on this list, now he's finally got one that's got us over the hump. Unbelievable. But it was the context of when you're going to that last drive and you're I don't know, I'm waiting for the interception. The reason you're waiting for the interception is because it's happened 26 times in the last 8 seasons.
Yeah, everyone's saying I've seen this movie before. It's yeah, no, you've not only seen it, but you can quote every line from this movie.
I mean, just diabolical.
It's Dumb and Dumber for me, or just I can quote this front to back. Yeah, I it that. I mean, we'll go front to back and stuff on the game, but just my reaction as a whole was the big takeaway that I'm trying to come around to is we've got a gamer that he's got the keys to the car right now. And it is Matt Rhule, it's Dana Olgerson, it's Dylan Raiola, and they make the machine go. If you don't have a quarterback, you've seen what has gone on for the last decade here. If you don't have that, just we are not out of this yet, then you're going to win more games than you lose. That's kind of what I'm trying to take from it. Now, that does not take away the fact that he had 3 of the worst throws that I've ever seen a quarterback make. It doesn't. But the overall is we outscored them 10-0 in the fourth quarter. What did we do to Michigan State? In the fourth quarter, we blew their doors off. Now it's the putting a complete game together, a little bit of a different scenario, not just for Raiola, but for the defense too. It's both sides of the ball. The only consistent, which is absolutely shocking to say, has been our special teams.
Which is
unbelievable. Our most consistent unit this year, and that is absolutely insane because we had a special teams unit that ranked outside the top 100 for the past 3+ years at least. So that's what I'm trying to take from the game, just overall as a whole, is wow, that was not good, but wow, we have lost a lot of these games.
Well, and so this is now the third time this has happened this year. And that's the changing tide that we've been waiting for this entire sheet, all 33 of these games of when's it going to change? When are we finally going to make a play?
Right.
When are we finally going to come down at the end of the game and win a game? We've done it 3 times now. Cincinnati, Hartzog makes that play at the end of the game. We haven't made that play in forever. Michigan State, you come down and we have a very strong fourth quarter and you come back and you win that game. Maryland, a game-winning drive with
down 7 in the fourth quarter.
Down 7 in the fourth quarter, game-winning drive, down 4 with 2 minutes to go, and you come down and drive and win the game. We haven't done that in forever. We've done it 3 times this year. And I will say that's where where I hope, and I've heard it a few times in the press and the afterwards of them saying we're done with the curses, where we all think because we're all broken and we've seen 9 years of this. The players, they don't seem to feel that pressure, which is you could see Adrian, he felt the pressure on his shoulders. He felt the weight of the entire state of Nebraska on his shoulders. And that's why so many of these games ended. You watch these guys, they come out and sling it in that final drive. And they're, it's Harburg is making catches down on the goal line and Lindenmeyer and Dane Key and all of these guys making plays at the end of the game. That to me is a big differentiator.
Offense and defense. The other thing that has stood out, I think, this year is that there were times last year throughout an entire game when you would be good Lord, did anybody play well?
Yeah.
And in these games, I feel like, I mean, you can name the games, based on like who was the standout performer. Like we're getting crazy highlights. It's just that we're also getting these kind of wild lowlights that are happening simultaneously. Like we haven't completely broken free from our chains to our losing ways, but you can tell we're loosening things up here a little bit. But I mean, there were just so many standout performers as well, like Kenneth Williams. I mean, he starts the day without a scholarship and without a notable kick return, and all of a sudden he almost freaking houses one.
How does that work, by the way? Like,
was
he like, does Dannon have like a scholarship in his pocket, and he's just like,
sure,
if somebody makes a play, they're getting 250 G's, like in the locker room. It's like, how does that work?
And he just writes their name in, like he just fills it in.
It's like, I mean, like, what does he tell Rhule? Does he tell him like, hey, by the way, he had a 60-yard, he's getting a scholarship.
Bang.
Is that a walk-on out there? Scholarship.
To whom it may concern at the top. It doesn't even have his first name on it.
Boy's getting a scholarship.
Yeah, pretty sweet deal for him. But like, there's things like that happen. I mean, when Neri had another 8 quarterback pressures, like he, was the only one can bring in consistent pressure. Obviously, Hunter is an absolute, like, I mean, good Lord, he could end up an all Big Ten player. Rayola made plays when it counted. Emmett Johnson was an absolute workhorse. Like Ja'Cory Barney continues to be electric on punt return. Lindenmeyer made, was just shaking people off and making huge catches in the end zone that like only wide receivers can typically make. McCullough stood up big on a third down to even get us the ball back in the fourth quarter. Like there were just a lot of like big like whoa plays, and these splash plays, like you absolutely need your playmakers to make plays when it counts, and that's just been probably the difference this year, like that we can win these close games.
Can we just kind of run it back? And I haven't rewatched the game yet, but I kind of want to like at least work through some of this.
First drive, very similar to Michigan game. So let's start there. We came out and we popped Maryland in the mouth. The first play from scrimmage, just like in Michigan, Emmett Johnson took a run for 13, 14 yards. Another run, 11 yards. Another run, 8 yards. A 4-yard pass to Barney, another first down. And then we went incomplete, 3-yard run, 5-yard pass, and then Emmett Johnson on 4th and 2 gets stuffed. We opted not to kick the ball. We were at the 31-yard line, and this is probably controversial call number 1. What'd you think about it? The controversial call number 1 at the time.
Well, I guess that's okay. I'm glad we're doing this because when it happened, it was like the word. I don't know. It was a weird, lame play call in a sense that it didn't get blocked well. Like Emmett had been running for like you said. I mean, 5 yards. 5 yards, 8 yards, 11 yards, 13 yards. But then we were kind of running stretch plays to Emmett the entire time, running him outside tackles and, pitch plays. And then all of a sudden it was this kind of weird, like run up the middle that went for a loss of 1. So the execution was poor because I think at the time I was kind of like throw the ball. But now I'm sure, as we'll get to later in the game, all we did was throw the ball when we should have been running. So I feel like a contrarian being like, you should have passed, when I'm sure if they passed, I would be screaming my head off, you should run. It just was like a weirdly poorly executed play. It just was like, it was like they didn't even try.
I kind of was just at that time, like, I don't know. You like to think that things like the Michigan game, when you went for it on that first drive and you kind of just want to try and get points, you've got a deadly kicker.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the go get it and then just like go pop them in the mouth mindset. That's fine. But God, we needed some better 4th down plays because
it wasn't a good play. Like I don't really fault him for going for it.
Yeah.
I think scoring 7 would be great, but I think that it was just a weird play call. It wasn't a very good play call.
It was one of Pritchett's kind of down moments of the day. He got kind of run into, and they like stunted and stuff with their end, and they just. God, Emmett just ran right into a pile. So it was that was a tough start there to not come up with anything. But then, and I think I probably would have kicked it.
3-zip would have been nice.
You'll take points on the opening drive. Like you got a lot of game to go and stuff. You're on the 31. It's makeable. Not playing in a tornado like you were last week. But then Maryland comes back and the defense actually holds, and we go. Turn them over on downs. They ran 7 plays, got 33 yards, stopped them right around midfield. I liked that from the defense there.
They went for it. They went for it aggressively on 4th and 5. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
Like, because they could have punted it down into the 5-yard line, and I think that was like coaching malpractice on their part. 4th and 5 to go for it.
Right.
That was a weird play call on there. Thank God they did. But 4th and 5 on the 40 to give us that field position was.
Yeah, and that was actually one of Malik Washington's kind of like freshman moments. Like he scrambled and ran.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was the one he ran out of bounds.
And he just stepped out.
Well, he just had no idea. He had no idea where the first down marker was. He had no idea.
So we were just like, oh, we stopped him, I guess.
Yeah, he had absolutely no idea where it was.
Very well could have had it, and that would have kind of changed the script there right away. But got a little bit lucky on that one that he just kind of ran right out of bounds. The next play, Hunter to the house.
Hunter to the house.
Unbelievable.
I mean, so I've seen a lot about him. Like, I was trying to think back to like the first couple games where he didn't play like this. In the last 2 games, I'm like, this kid he's an All-American and the best wide receiver we've had since Trey Palmer. But I didn't feel like that the first 2 games. Like, I thought Dane Key was a lot better than him the first 2 or 3 games. And now I'm like, this kid is, I mean, the fastest kid alive, maybe the fastest player in the country, and he should get 25 targets a game. Like, I've like completely shifted on him. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's absolutely killing it. He's up to 415 receiving yards now, and his average per reception. His average per reception is 3rd in the Big Ten right now. He's at 18.86 yards per catch because he's had a 64-yard touchdown.
I was going to say, but his yards after catch
and a 59-yard touchdown last week, both on that tunnel screen, which I heavily approve of. Like, just do that every single week. And he is at 69.2 yards per game. He's also at 4 receiving touchdowns, but 3 have come over the last 2 weeks. So he is becoming a weapon. I think he's wide receiver 1.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is I thought
ahead of Barney and ahead of Key. I think
I thought Dane Key was the whole season, and now I'm watching him play. Like, I mean, he had the 2 touchdowns. He had, I mean, an amazing fade. He had like the amazing catch down the side. Like, he probably had 5 catches. He played extremely well.
Yeah, he's been great. And he's coming along very well. And I'm very glad that he's just a sophomore, actually. Like, that's a huge plus from the transfer portal, is that you actually could potentially get a year or 2 more from him. And Dane Key's still serviceable. Like, don't count him out yet. Like, if he's
not counting him out, I just thought
he's your wide receiver 3. Like, that is an excellent problem to have, because Barney actually was making a strong case for wide receiver 1 there too. But I think we've got 3 solid options there. I still a big time believer in them. We just got to have our quarterback get it to him. So next possession, Maryland goes 3 plays minus 2 yards. They punt.
With the sack, by the way, with the sack, incompletion, punt. Great job by the Black Shirts. I mean, 3, but a quick 3 and out.
Cade Petrak just absolutely blew that one up. That was amazing. And then we went to work. Probably our best, maybe not our best, but it was a great drive. 10 plays, 47 yards, heavy on the run. Emmett Johnson on the first 3 plays. Then we threw one deep. Again, we went to Hunter.
Yep.
Tried to hit him over the top, maybe slightly underthrown from Rayola. Would love to see him be completing those, but we'll take the pass interference. 7-yard pass, 6-yard run, 2-yard run, 10-yard penalty again. That one was absolute horse manure. That is Emmett. I mean, he had his head turned. He's looking for the pass, and he runs into the linebacker.
That was weird.
Kind of crazy call. They call it offensive pass interference.
Like, it has to be. I feel like it's got to be intentional for that.
Wipe the touchdown off.
It wasn't intentional. It was an accident. Like, that was a weird, like, they just bad timing type thing. That to wipe that off is pretty lame.
Yeah. And then sorry, I got it out of order. It was the Maryland had another pass interference, and then we had the 1st and 10. That's when Heinrich Harburg took it in shotgun. Completely misread the play. I tweeted it earlier today. Like, should have just handed it to Emmett. He would have gotten down to the 5 inside.
Was that zone read?
Easily, yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, he faked the handoff to Emmett, at least. I mean, unless they were designing him to run it the entire time. But
that hasn't worked all season, and I don't know. Like, I feel like he needs to throw it or do something to, like. It's like he steps foot on the field.
They know he's running.
And the defense is like, oh, okay. Like,
Duh.
But he was like, I don't know. It's like he was a quarterback 2 years ago. He can throw. Like, can we do like the fake jump pass or something that like throws him off? It hasn't. I don't think he's gained a yard on it all season. We've probably run it 5 times.
It's crazy. Like, and I don't like. If you watched how Penn State, hot topic, hot button there. Don't shoot me for even saying this, but how Penn State used Tyler Warren last year.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was like a Swiss Army knife. You know, they kind of had like the Taysom Hill vibes. Like they'd hand up to him in the backfield. They'd have him, kind of run up and basically do, like a wildcat type offense where he would run zone reads and stuff. And then he obviously could split out wide and then he'd line up. He was like an elite tight end like that. And they're trying, I think, to use Harburg in that way. I don't hate it. Like you get your most athletic players the ball somehow. Like I like the idea.
I just think that something different has to happen. It just
it just doesn't seem to get executed well.
Well, like whatever. Hey, if you're building towards something that happens against USC, and all of a sudden Harburg comes in and like does a jump pass that throws for a touchdown, it's like great. You set that thing up over the course of 9 weeks, great. But it's just weird to watch it. And you're like, oh, Harburg's in the game. Here comes a -1. It's like,
yeah. And then I mean, God, Carter Nelson gets one offensive snap on the day. Which this brings up another storyline for me. His one offensive snap of the day was that play. And he completely whiffed on the block that basically
yeah, that was weird. That was the one he was like just
ran by him and then he's just kind of in no man's land. And and unfortunately ended up with a -2. Then we ended up with a penalty and then short pass complete, blah blah blah. We ended up kind of kicking a field goal and but the refs kind of blew things, and then we just got off track from there.
So we're still 10 zip, though, and you're feeling pretty good. You're feeling great. Like, at this point, I'm feeling like it's 10 zip. They've gotten basically a 3 and out, and we should have scored 3 straight times. So
the first quarter was Maryland ran 10 plays for 31 yards and 0
points. But we basically drove down the field, should have kicked a field goal, drove down the field, scored a touchdown, drove down the field, kicked a field goal. So we basically are scoring every time we touch the ball.
Yeah.
But this stretch here, I'm now like looking through, was absolute mayhem. Because this is where I like this in the heat of the moment. I was like blacking out, like, what is going on? Like, what?
Yeah.
It just, there's 4 possessions in the first quarter, and then how many in the second? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 possessions. 11 possessions in the second quarter after 4 in the first quarter. It just was like a bang, 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 bang. Like, what is going on?
It changed amazingly fast. The big key was like Malik Washington just sort of settled down and like completely forgot that he's a freshman that's supposed to be making a lot of mistakes.
He's pretty darn good.
He's really good.
I thought he was better than Bryce Underwood.
Not a hot take, but he will be at an SEC school sometime soon.
I just thought he was better than Bryce Underwood. I was like, what's that for Bryce? This kid
Mike
can
Loxley
sling it.
must just have like an award ceremony at the end of the year, and half of it is like, here's your scholarship to Georgia.
Congratulations, Ole Miss. Lane, you're gonna go play for Lane Kiffin next year.
Player of the year. Have fun at Ole Miss. Yeah.
Yeah, he made himself a bunch of money. He's a good player.
No, he's good. He was absolutely dime passes, including like the touchdown. Well, that was the 2 possessions later, but tough end of the series there. Nolan Ray ran for a 28-yard touchdown, and we missed 14 tackles on that run.
Weird that this kind of started the whole like. I feel like maybe we were feeling ourselves coming into this game, being like, we have the number 1 pass defense in the country, and then you're just watching this kid like absolutely torches. I mean, we had held Bryce Underwood to 105, like Sorsby only had 69. We had held Michigan State's Aiden Childs was held to 100, and this kid comes out and like in the first quarter has 100 yards passing, and you're like, whoa, what? Wait, what happened to our amazing defense? That was a weird.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, things changed incredibly quickly. So Maryland comes down and scores, and then we go 2 plays, and Dylan throws just not processing things fast enough, I think.
I got to play these back. The first interception was the one that was just behind him.
That was it, yes. And so that's where he basically scanned across the field. Linebacker jumped, I think it was linebacker or safety, jumped right in front of Barney, and basically just was like, thanks.
Just terrible throw.
Yes, we'll take that.
And that's the second play of the drive. Unbelievable.
Yep, second play of the drive, and then Maryland goes 4 plays touchdown.
And so they went run, pass complete for 21 yards for a touchdown.
21-yard pass was an absolute like NFL level throw that is going to make him some serious money down at Florida next year. Where they've got DJ
Kirby Smart on the phone. Yeah, this is the whiplash where I was like, in the first quarter, we're winning 10-0, and we come into the second quarter and we're down 14-10 in a span of how many plays was that then? So that was like 1, 2, 3 plus 4, 7 plays.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
7 plays. We went from being up
touchdown drive. We had a 2-play, or our second play was interception, and then they had a 4-play touchdown.
But I'm saying they scored a touchdown, and we had 2 plays. And then 4 plays later, they scored. So 4, 5, 6, 7 in seven plays in 45 seconds. We were down. Like, like I still felt like we were fine in this moment because I was like, okay, that was just a weird sequence. Like, we'll settle back in. We're basically scoring every time we touch the ball. Is 1 interception, fine.
I mean, and then what happened next is like, good Lord, Eckler just is pumping these guys full of drugs that I don't know what they're doing, but why do you just suddenly know how to play special teams?
They talk about it though. Because he's actually like, he's come out, and I guess I'm hearing it from bits and pieces from, I listen to like Chattel and McEwen and like, Callahan, all these guys. He comes out and says he sees things, and the players are coming out and saying they see things. Like they literally like
profit.
Well, no, more like they're watching film.
I had a vision.
But they're watching film of the game, and they're like, going back to the Michigan State game, they're like, hey, if they line up this way, we're gonna block this kick because there's gonna be a lane here, and this guy's gonna crack down here, and the linebacker, this O lineman is gonna move this way. We're gonna block this kick. And Michigan State comes out, they line up like that, and they block it. And like the players said, like it was Khan who blocked it. It was but even like, wasn't it
Jameer Khan?
Yeah, Khan blocks, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to block this thing if they line up like this." He said that in the after. He's like, "We practiced it a ton. I blocked it all week in practice." Like they're studying film and learning from it. And they said on this too, they said if they kick it down the middle, if they kick it to the left, like, and they are coming down like in a certain way, we're gonna house one. Like, he's literally coaching them because he watches film, which it seems so basic,
right?
But it's so shocking to us because you're like, oh my God, you're studying film and learning from it, and then coaching and executing. Like it just breaks all of our brains. People across the country have been doing this for 25 years.
Feels like something we should have picked up on a while ago. Like the trend that started in the 90s.
How many of the games the last 15 years have been like, oh, it'd be sweet if we could return a kick. Like, oh, whoop, there goes Ole Miss. They just returned a kick for a touchdown. There goes Rutgers. They just returned a kick for a touchdown. You're like, that'd be sweet. And then we finally do it. But yeah, Kenneth Williams now on scholarship, absolutely unbelievable.
Earned it. Earned every penny.
I ended up going deep.
That was a $200,000 kick return.
I ended up going deep on it for a second because I was like, I couldn't figure out why he got caught.
He just kind of was like, maybe he thought he was just going to score. I don't know.
His thing was he was a track star at Lincoln High.
Yeah,
and he was like,
all straight line.
And I was like, why didn't he shake him off and do something? It turns out the other kid at Maryland who chased him down was also a track star. So it was like track star. I gave him like a directional pass, but I'm like, if you're gonna come in here and call yourself a track star and get like hawked down from behind, like thank God we scored. But if we hadn't scored, I've been like, you don't get a scholarship. I'm taking your scholarship away. Like, you don't get that thing. I'm going to Dan. I'm like, no. The kids didn't score.
Hang on a sec. But that was absolutely awesome. I mean, it's such an incredible way to just get things right back. And then Raiola, like, another huge thing, his pass on that touchdown. This is where Raiola rolls out to his right, buying time, and finds a completely non-existent window of opportunity and just throws an absolute dime to Lindenmeyer.
Well, it's
Lindenmeyer made it like
unbelievable.
This kid out of Nebraska, I mean, just toe tapping on the sidelines, diving.
It's an interesting part of Raiola because you're like, when he's at his best and he does stuff like that, he elevates everybody else on the field. He makes Lindenmeyer look like an All-American. He's a
Sure.
walk-on from Western Nebraska. Like,
Right.
he's making small-town kids look like All-Americans. Look at Harburg was a quarterback 2 seasons ago, and Rayla throws certain passes that make him look like an All-American. So that he can elevate people on the field, but he also does it's like the entire Rayola coaster. You're just like, it's a total whiplash to go from that interception to just an unbelievable touchdown pass 6 plays later. It's encouraging. He's got the stones to go back and do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would have loved if he just had a normal drop back and threw a pass to someone. That would have been nice as well. But he scrambles, he makes it happen, and he made some magic happen. Lindenmeyer's from La Vista, by the way, which is not that far. It's not that far west.
Small town. Small town.
Next possession. Maryland comes out 3-0. I mean, unbelievable. So now we're just okay, all the momentum is back. And then guess what happens? 3 plays, touchdown, 24-14. I thought this game was in hand at this point.
Unbelievable. I mean, we were absolutely dominating, especially as you get to this point. So now you've got one screwy drive, which is the interception. But we have not punted the entire game. We should have scored on every possession that we've had. We're absolutely carving them up. It should be, it's 24-17 or 24-14. It should be 27-14. But it feels at this moment too. I would say at the 10-0 point and the 24-14 point.
Sure.
I had the same feeling I had last week with Michigan State when it was 14-0 against Michigan State. I was like 24-14 at halftime. Yeah. We're driving to score again, which we're definitely going to score again. 31-14. I'm literally thinking we might put up 60 points, which I had the same thought against Michigan State. I was like, we're 14-0 on the first 10 plays of the game. And now it's 24-14. If we go to 31-14, you just double that thing up. We're going to put up 50, 60 points. This is an absolute massacre. And if you'll recall, as we were watching the game together, this is where I started to get a little loopy and I started talking about hey, maybe Nebraska's going to go to the Big Ten championship. I think we're
right. How are we going to get work off for the playoffs?
I was I'm starting to I'm looking at the rest of the schedule. I don't see a loss on the schedule. I don't know how we're going to lose ever again. I just is 24-14, 31-14. This team is absolutely juiced.
Right. Well, not to mention 24-14 and then they go 3-and-out again.
3-and-out again.
So now we've got the ball. It's 24-14. And that's when Rayola giveth and Rayola taketh away.
Well, I still haven't seen the replay of it.
So he's getting pressed a little bit, and he's trying to kind of squeeze out to the right side, and then he tries to just loft one out of bounds, and it's definitely going to the sideline. And there's no Nebraska player in sight, and he just shorted it. It didn't get out of bounds, and they just fielded it like it was a pop fly to center field.
He caught it. Yeah. He thought it was a punt.
So dumb. It's unbelievable. The one time he does throw it away, you're like, oh, thank God he threw it away. And it's intercepted. Okay. All righty then.
That all happened so fast. And then the room that we were in just got super quiet and awkward. Yeah. And I was trying to find a replay, and I could they didn't even show a replay. It was the weirdest play. But also he can throw the ball from his knee 75 yards and hit the other goalpost. Why didn't he throw that into the 19th row?
Just hit the popcorn guy. I mean, God, who cares?
He just watch it. Later in the game, when he fell on his backside, he's literally falling on his backside, and he threw the ball 33 yards in the air in an absolute strike. And you're telling me with his feet underneath him, he couldn't throw it out of bounds? What are you doing?
Unbelievable. And then then to take the wind out of the sail further, Maryland goes 13 plays, 66 yards, takes 3 minutes off the clock. And fortunately we stood a little bit tall at the very end of the drive, and they hit a 37-yard field goal. Nebraska still has time on the clock, and this is controversial call number 2 for me. First of all, he got sacked. That stinks. But we went into the half with timeouts. They kicked it off for 40 yards. They did a stupid little squib, and then Caleb Benning returned it 25 yards. We had the ball on the 50-yard line.
That was Caleb Benning. I didn't know it was Benning. Awesome.
Yeah, we had the ball on the 50-yard line
Yeah.
with 20 seconds left.
I don't know, throw the Hail Mary.
Not even that, but like the goal has to be, okay, you might have 3 plays that can each gain, I don't know, 7 to 10 yards. Like, use them.
Yeah.
Use 2 timeouts. Try and get into field goal range. Get to the 35, 30-yard line. You got to go 20 yards in 20 seconds. You better be able to do that. And one snap, sacked, let the clock run out. Forget it. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, well, and that's I would agree with that.
We didn't really design a pass like that was to do that.
I feel like we did that. Didn't we do that against Michigan State too, where it's like we've completed a Hail Mary now, and like we've had the ball twice at the end of halves, and like have the chance to just launch it and just sort of are like that, just kneel it into the half. I don't know. That in hindsight looks a lot worse because they backed up their 13-play, 66-yard drive with a 10-play, 75-yard drive. And at this point, I went from like, I mean, I'm canceling my flights to versus Indianapolis. I mean, I don't even know where the Big Ten championship was going to be, but I'd booked flights like at halftime, and now I'm like,
going.
And now I'm coming out like, it's like, is Rhule gone? Like, is he going to take the Penn State job? Like, I mean, it was like the biggest like. I mean, and now we're like, we had gone to a funeral in the morning. And I was like, are we going to see another funeral right now? Are we going to bury like Nebraska football? Like, what? It's just like the room we're watching in. We had like 60 people in it, and no one's talking. It's so awkward. The team stinks.
It was the worst third quarter of the season, and that's saying something because their third quarters and second quarters have been awful.
Third quarter last Michigan State was pretty darn bad.
Yeah, well, this one was too because Maryland went touchdown, and then we were driving, and then Dylan threw a pick six. Yeah. And then our next possession, we punted. Those were our 3 possessions.
It's pretty bad.
Those were 2 possessions in the third quarter. Maryland goes 7 plays, 22 yards, and punts. Now this was actually
hang on. Wait, you just skipped over the pick six.
No, I didn't. I mentioned it, and I don't want to talk about it any further. It was the worst pass that we will see, hopefully, of his entire career. And I thought that we should all just go outside and go for a walk at that moment.
I'm just trying to process this.
31-24, Maryland.
Interception. So he threw an interception in that one drive, and then we went touchdown. But then he went interception. So it's back-to-back drives, ending in a diabolical interception, followed by a pick six interception, followed by
after the pick six, we went 4 plays and punted.
4 plays and punted, which were a run, and a run. That's good. At least we ran the ball. And then Archie with like the worst punt of all time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a good point. I forgot about that.
It's like, is he cold? And he did like, you got to feel for the kid. Like he's only punted like 5 times all season because we didn't punt the entire Akron game. We didn't punt the entire HCU game. We punted maybe once against Michigan State. Like he's played 7 snaps all season. He shows up here thinking he's going to be this like big time punter. He goes out once.
Archie did to that ball what Rayola meant to do on the throwaway, which was straight out of bounds. It got out in a hurry. It went 20 yards, but it went 30 rows up into the stadium.
Oh my God. I mean, watching the ref like run after the ball, I was like, is he going to stop? Like he was on the 5, and it was the 10 and 20, 30, 40. I'm like,
he's to the 20. He's to the 30. He's to the 40. Yeah, he just never stopped.
All the way to the 38. Oof, that is brutal. Yeah. So he punted it for 20 yards. That was a 20-yard punt. I mean, just go for it at that point. It's like brutal. Was that the 17-point swing that we were talking about? So it was 24-14, and then it was 24-31 before you could blink. Yeah. So now you're heading to the fourth quarter down 7 after being up 10 not that long ago.
Yeah. And what was getting real concerning on that particular drive was Maryland just turned completely to the run.
Yeah.
In fact, they did not pass on that drive. Like they were going fourth quarter ball, like let's play Big Ten football. Let's line it up and run. And they went 6-yard run, 6-yard run, 5-yard run, 6-yard run, 6-yard run. And at that time, and then a 2-yard run, that's when the third quarter ended. It was like, oh my God, we might lose to Maryland.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, because it wasn't just like we're playing awful, like there was a terrible third quarter, but right now at that moment, Maryland is running it down your throat.
Just bullying us.
I mean, yeah, they just ran 5 straight runs, positive yardage every time. But that was on 2nd and 4 that they had the 2-yard run. The next play, again, like what is different this year about this Nebraska team is we just have players that our standout players seem to be making plays when it counts. Desan McCullough comes up and stops him behind the line. Huge tackle for loss, negative 4-yard run, and then they end up punting with 4 minutes left. And that's when apparently our offense just said, "No, this is our game. This is
Wait, you skipped over one drive. You skipped over the field goal drive.
This next drive is the field goal drive.
Oh, you're the field. Yeah,
12 plays, 83 yards for the Husker offense.
It was a great drive.
Yeah, what did you think about that drive?
Oh, sorry, now I'm following. Okay, I was mixing up because we had
massive plays. You don't mention Emmett Johnson at this point, who is a huge storyline.
Because we had huge plays on the back-to-back punt stops here. So McCullough's was on this first one in the fourth quarter, and then we started this drive where like on the 8.
Mm-hmm. Huge big boy drive.
Yeah, so we went. I mean, was this Emmett Johnson's 50-yard run drive? Okay, this was the Emmett Johnson.
Sure was.
Drive, but also this run.
But it started with Emmett before that as well.
Yeah, so he went 11-yard run.
Yep.
A couple good passes, 4-yard run. But that run itself, and I tweeted this earlier, was the closest thing I've seen to the Amir Abdullah 4th down run versus McNeese State, the touchdown run where he just was like, "I'm not going to get tackled.
So
I'm gonna put the team on my back." I mean, he was throwing defenders off him. He was juking people off of him. Running straight, running left, running right, stopping, going left. Like his level of we haven't seen that since Amir, and Amir was 2012, so that's a good 10, 15 years ago.
And I mean, his like will to just and want on that run was amazing. I mean, he was refusing to go down. Like he could have very easily gone out of bounds at the 30 and he made it all the way inside the 10. And that was just, that was the play where you're like, okay, we're going to win this game, or we can win this game. I did not say we're going to win, but I was like, all right, something's different here. Something's different. We're making plays. And not to mention, I will shout out to Dylan right before that. If you remember, so we had I think it was 2nd down. Yeah, 2nd and 6. And we got a 10-yard holding penalty. So it ended up 2nd and 16. And then Rayola had that 16-yard pass to Dane Key on the next play. And that's what set up the 1st down. Then we went to completion, and then came the 50-yard run. Like that was a huge gutsy play and stuff right there.
Emmett Johnson appreciation. I tweeted this right before the show. He's 2nd in the Big Ten in rushing yards.
He is 2nd in the Big Ten in rushing yards.
I mean, think about how insane that is from we haven't had a feature back in 10 years that has ever done anything in Nebraska, a program that prides itself on running the ball, prides itself on having great running back, prides itself on good offensive line. I mean, when was the last time we had a running back anywhere near the top?
Right. So he's
probably Amir.
He's 2nd in yards per game at 108.3 yards per game. He's 2nd to Justice Haynes, who got a lot of his yards per game against us at Michigan. He is 1st though in attempts per game, which is actually kind of crazy, to think, because we're all screaming run the ball, and he has the most rushing attempts per game.
Shop HuskersStore.com for all the best run the ball gear
in the conference. But yeah, 650 rushing yards on the day. But that's not to mention he's touching the ball 20 plus times per game. It's really
he should though. The offense runs through him, and it runs better when he's getting the ball.
Yeah, it's been he put the team on his back there, and shout out to Emmett for literally turning this game on its head. He had 21 rushes on the day for 186 yards, I believe. But then
speaking of running the ball,
yes. Go on.
50-yard run followed by
Okay, yeah, that's controversial call number 3 on the day for me.
50-yard run followed
Yeah, I
by.
forgot about this. Okay, yeah, so talking point, controversial call number 3. Well, I mean, okay. So Emmett's gassed.
Is
My
he
God.
though?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, he is a D1 athlete, and he's
For
like
all 3 plays?
20 years old, so like maybe he should be not gassed, but like he did just try to carry the entire Maryland defense into the end zone with him. So either take him out or run a reverse, run with somebody. Like we're clearly running the ball well at that point, and you're inside the 10-yard line. I don't totally hate the pass on first down, but I would have really liked a touchdown on this drive. Like that would have just taken so much more of the pressure off.
It was just a weird set. It was a weird set of
field goal.
calls. 3. So we go incomplete to Dane Key, incomplete, and then the second one is when he spiked it, and the third one he ran for 6 yards, but it was like a weird scramble play. 3 straight dropbacks, and then the delay of game penalty, and then kicked a field goal. Which the delay of game, they were trying to do a 4th dropback.
Yeah, so that's controversial call number 5. So the first was the fact that they went 2 straight incompletions, and then tried to pass again, and Raiola just scrambled basically for 6 yards down to the 4-yard line. The second part of the scandalous controversial calls there was if they went for it and didn't get it, like they looked like they were trying to do, this game is probably over. Right. Like if they went for it on 4th down,
because we miss it.
They were lined up. Yeah.
And he snapped.
Don't get it. Then you're down 7.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
And at best, you're
go to overtime.
You're hoping to go to overtime, and goodness, do we have a tough record in overtime? But
we flip it. Yeah, I mean, everything about that was weird. I guess I don't at the macro level. I don't understand. Like, I'm not challenging Holgorsen. Like, I think he knows he's forgotten more football than we'll ever know. But like, something weird happens when it's 1st and goal at the 8, 9, 10. He's a drop back pass every time. And like that first pass every time is a fade route throwaway that very rarely goes for anything. And then you're 2nd and 10. And then he's like, well, 2nd and 10, I got to pass again. Like it happens every time. And it happened even in the last drive. It happened on the game winning drive too. Like it's 1st and goal and he's just like, pass.
I'd like to see us just, lean forward and take a couple yards off.
Yeah. So thank God he made that field goal though.
Yep. Made the field goal. And then that's when the defense, I mean, like it's amazing what difference momentum can make because they started to stand big again. Like you forget that, yes, we had these like fantastic game-winning drives and stuff that are, amazing plays that happened on offense and stuff all in the 4th quarter. But like the defense had to get the ball back. Yeah. And Maryland went 5 plays, 22 yards and had to punt again with 3 minutes and 42 seconds left. Like if they run the clock out there, if we're playing the, just porous defense that we were in the 2nd and 3rd quarter, the game's over. Incredible stuff. The next drive, this is where the magic happened. There's 2.5 minutes left, and holy cow. 3 minutes, 42 seconds left. And it was actually a very well done last drive. And as you mentioned at the beginning of the show, there's not many times and we've been able to say that in the last 10 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're looking at the last drive, and somebody cut this up, and I'm going to show this if you're watching on the YouTube or go back and watch it later. But somebody cut this all up of the all-22, which I absolutely love this angle of the passes that were happening. So I think this must be, and I'm going to pull up the thing. Was this the first pass?
First pass might have been Raiola's.
So this one right here.
Best
so this is the first pass. Raiola gets pressure.
Yep.
Goes right, scoots left, comes all the way across, throws across his body over to Lindenmeyer, and then all of a sudden Lindenmeyer can't be tackled. So this first play that goes all the way to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, 23-yard gain.
Unbelievable pass there. And I think, is this second one the one that he falls?
Yeah, so then he gets tripped by the turf monster. Nobody saw that one coming. There was actually no pressure for the first time, like pretty much all year, but
Why did he fall? I've watched this a bunch of times.
he
Like,
literally just scoots to the left, and then
so this guy's coming over here. The guy's coming off the left edge. He's rushing at Rayola. Nobody sees that guy, but then he stops. Like, watch this. Like, he stops and jumps off. Rayola kind of freaks out, runs over, just trips over
he
himself.
tripped.
But he
Still
throws an
makes the
absolute dart. Like, he still
Absolute
threw a dart.
Fine.
I mean, I guess like
Incredible.
if you look at it from this angle, maybe if he doesn't fall, like Hunter's wide open out there, that's probably a touchdown anyways. But I mean, I'll take it falling on his backside.
Oh yeah,
Another amazing play by Hunter. The fact that he's like that wide open.
great play by Hunt.
But
Yeah,
to me,
the
it comes back to
route
like
that he runs is absolutely perfect.
what I'm screaming at the TV the entire game is like, let Rayola throw the ball deep. And like then he does stuff like this, and you're like, yeah, why does he never throw the ball deep? It's just like yeah, he's got an absolute bazooka when he wants to be. He throws an absolute strike, 33 yards downfield. At this point, you're cooking. So this is where I wanted to stop.
Now you got to get into clock management mode because you're just dicing them right now. I know that one was like a complete pirouetting, jumping throw to Lindenmeyer, and one was a falling on your back throw to Hunter. So I don't know. Maybe dicing them's not the best word.
But
you're cruising down the field pretty easily there. That's a 23-yard pass, a 5-yard run, a 33-yard pass, and then a 4-yard run from Emmett Johnson. And then the next play is what you're about to show.
Well, timeout. So it's, I guess, the clock management, because I'm now looking at this in hindsight outside of the mayhem of the game. I was like so desperate just to score.
Sure.
That I'm not even looking at the clock. I'm more scared the clock's going to run out, and I'm so broken from, as I mentioned at the top of the show, 33 straight times of us throwing an interception. I'm waiting for the interception, waiting for the catastrophic fumble.
Yeah. 3
I don't even have
2 minutes left, and Maryland's got timeouts as well.
So it's there's 2:17. We run the ball, cut it all the way down to 2 minutes. Got it.
Yep.
And so now it's 154, 4-yard run, 117, 13-yard pass. Oh, this is the Harburg pass.
Yep. Again, I mean, just like would love for an easy option to be there. It wasn't.
I mean, unbelievable pass by Harburg, unbelievable pass, unbelievable catch.
Yeah, the kid is a freaking magician sometimes.
So this is then the next. So unbelievable. I mean, the fact that Harburg was a quarterback 2 seasons ago and is now making unbelievable plays is like just absolutely remarkable to me. He's a quarterback, and it's like, oh, hey, I can play tight end. Sounds good. Like a quarterback turned tight end, like it's absolutely unheard of. That so then this again, where then I was like, okay, 13-yard pass, first and goal at the 3.
Yeah.
And I started to look at the clock in the heat of the moment, and now I'm looking at it now. 1:12 left.
This controversial call number 6 for me.
If you're in the NFL, you got to run this thing down to 1 second.
Absolutely.
Because it's like you can't give the ball back to Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or any of these guys with literally 20 seconds on the clock. Yeah, they will come back and score.
If you take 20 seconds, so there's a minute and 8. No, there's a minute 12. 1 minute and 17 seconds left before this play starts.
Yeah.
The first thing that they do is they try to pass again.
Pass to Lindenmeyer. It was the play action fake to Lindenmeyer.
Yeah, I mean, you've got first down at the 3-yard line. I would say you're running the ball fine with Emmett Johnson. I mean, fine. I think you run the ball 3 times here. You take 20 seconds per run, and that gets you a touchdown, ideally, with a few seconds left.
Well, I think that's what's like.
That's where you're at. It's like, or that's what the NFL, I think that's what you do. And like in case of emergency, you have your timeouts left. You use one if you absolutely have to, and there's and then you can always throw one away or something, like whatever. But like a pass here on first and goal from the 3-yard line with just over a minute left is just not the move.
It's two drives in a row. It's first and goal from inside the 10-yard line, and we pass on first down with an incompletion. 2 straight drives, incompletion, first and goal at 10.
I mean, you clocked it, and you helped Maryland in this case potentially.
Yeah, and so I started to think about it then, but I was also like, just freaking score. Just find a way in the end zone. I don't care how. It doesn't matter how. Call whatever you need to call Holgerson. But I guess there's me as the desperate fan who hasn't seen us win in 33 games. And then there's like, as I reflect back on it, look at it, it's like, you got to have some confidence in your team. Like, I would rather you have that Signetti level confidence. It's like, yeah, we're going to score. Are you kidding me? We're Nebraska. Yeah. Like, we are going to run. This is Maryland. we are Nebraska. We're going to run it down your throat. It's going to take 3 plays. We've got Emmett Johnson. We've got the second best running back in the Big Ten. We're going to bully you, and we're going to run it down your throat. And that to me is what comes across as missing in this. Is you're like, they're like as desperate as I am to score, which I'd rather them not be. Like I'd rather them be like, yeah, like have some confidence.
Yeah, I mean, you're lined up in shotgun from the 3-yard line. It's kind of just like we really miss Dowdell, who is the hammer. He had like 12.
Yeah, I mean, look,
hey, you need a hammer.
All of these things, podcasting, complaining aside, here's your game-winning touchdown. I mean,
this was. I mean, I felt like, God, this felt like an exorcism or something. Like all of those 32 or 3 or whatever other losses in that last minute, all of that weight just left my body. I mean, Dane Key with a one-handed catch, the ball wasn't even there yet. It was clear defensive pass interference, and he hangs on to the ball.
Well, so it's a clear pick play. So Hunter goes over, pick play right here, which is, borderline illegal. So they could have called that. This guy's getting bushed off. He kind of watched Hunter kind of throws him. He throws him a little hip love right there. He comes across. This guy pulls off and grabs him. So then this guy dives at his ankles, grabs him by the hip. Dane Key just effortlessly grabs it with one arm.
One arm. I mean, players make plays. You gotta have dudes that make plays.
Holgorsen was confident in that play. I believe in Holgorsen. I believe in him. But also, like, man, if that guy stands up, if that guy's standing and doesn't get picked by Hunter and is stays on his feet, that's pick 6. So I'm sitting there like that is
put it pretty high and outside.
But like for that to be your game-winning play, I'm kind of like,
yeah. I mean, it was awesome though. God, that was awesome.
Awesome, absolute euphoria.
Yeah, just the whole family going crazy. Like, it's just a good time. God, that was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. But it left a minute on the clock, and that final minute was unbelievably stressful. The defense stepped up, but I like blacked out during that period too. They drove all the way down to field goal range, and if they hadn't had that borderline grounding call,
well, they got to the 50-yard line.
Got to the 15-yard line before they had a grounding call for the 14-yard penalty. Then they went incomplete, 20-yard pass, incomplete. But all they needed was a field goal to tie the game. So you're like, I mean,
that was absolutely huge from the black shirts coming up.
Big time. It gave us 2 euphoric moments of a unbelievable touchdown pass, followed by the Huskers winning for the first time in literally 33 games. By one score.
Outscored them 10-0 in the fourth quarter. I mean, gosh, like in terms of, burying your grandmother in the morning and her beloved Huskers coming back, and she probably guided their hands on a lot of it. I'm sure she was out there somewhere.
She was just yelling.
This is the type of win that you just needed to get. Yeah, she probably was just yelling at them, but this was the type of win that you wanted to get. So overall offense, probably a B- grade. Like they did enough to win for sure. Like they put enough points up to win for sure, but 3 turnovers, lost the turnover battle. Defense, probably a C grade. God, they really they didn't really stop the pass. They gave up 130 yards rushing to a team that doesn't really care to rush the ball. Special teams, A+. Like you still feel positive momentum though going into
I think you're coming away like, I think you're appreciative and like, thank God we're figuring out how to win. And I think you've got Raiola figuring out how to win now that he's got a game-winning drive. Like I hope when he gets the ball every time with 2 minutes left, he looks back on this as like, I've done it before and I've got this. Sure. That's the good side. The concerning side is like a lot of it where you're like, I don't think Maryland's that good. This is probably a 7-5 team. Michigan State got their, tails kicked by UCLA.
Sure.
So these games and like Michigan got stomped on by USC. So like there's definitely some like smoke and concerns on the horizon of like we're winning close games against not very good teams, but we're winning and we're 5-1 and you can't complain about it. But you're also like, man, like the interceptions are brutal. The defense did not look great. Like, but they're winning. And so it's like, you can't forgive all of it. Nebraska fans are smart. We watch the games, we pay attention. And, we see through a lot of that stuff where you're like, all right, we know it's not clean. We know it's not, perfect. We know there's things to improve, which I think is like encouraging of, but I think that the special teams is interesting because it keeps coming back to like, it's like Iowa football where like they've figured out all you need to do is be good at special teams and you can just at least keep it close.
Sure.
And we've done that in the sense that like our special teams are making plays, we're blocking punts, we're returning kicks, we're returning punts, we're like making field goals. And that alone keeps you in or close or, directionally in games. And then all of a sudden you have explosive players like Hunter and, Emmett Johnson making plays. Like you're going to win most of those games if you have strong special teams followed by that. So yeah, I don't know. It was a heart attack worthy game, but we'll take the W.
Yeah. Let's spend our last few minutes on how we're going to beat Minnesota and avenge some
Minnesota. Gosh, they just freaking own us.
Yeah, they've won the last 5 games. Yucky game. Minnesota's a yucky team. They love to yuck it up out there, but they are yucky at football this year. So big chance to get another big away victory. It's on a short week. PJ Fleck, good Lord, how much do you just want to shut that guy up? And I think we absolutely can do it. Before the year, I would have said, God, I just don't know. But like this Maryland win, I mean, and just like what it can do for a locker room, as opposed to Minnesota coming off an absolute demolishing from Ohio State, and then kind of sneaks by Purdue, like the basement dweller Purdue, and they've kind of gotten away from like the I guess what you'd call like the Minnesota way of years past. Listen to these rushing yard totals, because this is not the Minnesota that we're used to. Like they used to just run and basically be Iowa. They were Iowa Junior for several years there. So Buffalo and Northwestern State, they went for 153 and 258 yards. Against Cal, 130 on 3.5 yards per carry though. Against Cal. Rutgers, 18 carries, 1.94 yards per carry, 35 yards. Ohio State, 25 carries, 68 yards, 2.7 yards per carry. Purdue.
Wait, say that Ohio State one again.
25 carries for 68 yards. That's 2.72 yards per carry.
God, so they didn't do anything.
Purdue, 18 carries, 30 yards.
Wow.
1.67 yards per carry.
Against Purdue?
Against Purdue. They have a total of 7 rushing touchdowns on the season, but 5 of them were against Northwestern State.
Wow. So
no rushing touchdowns against Purdue, none against Ohio State. So they are being forced now to pass the ball a little bit more. And they've got Drake Lindsay. Now he's 6'5". He's a big dude. He's got a big arm. He is
true freshman or redshirt freshman?
I think I want to say he was a freshman last year, actually.
I think he's a redshirt freshman.
True for maybe redshirt freshman, but anyway, it's his throne now. He's thrown for 60.1% this year. He's got 1,284 yards passing. He is throwing a lot of short passes, 6.8 yards per attempt. He's got 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the year, but they're throwing the ball 31 times per game with him.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy, like for a Minnesota team. They're just typically not that way. Now, again, they have had over 300 yards passing once this year. And if you look at their total offense, they are basement dwellers of the Big Ten in total. They are, for their passing offense, which again, they're kind of being forced to pass, is 11th in the conference. They are passing for 60.2% as a team, 7 yards per attempt, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That puts them as the 11th best passing offense. They have the, I believe, 16th rushing offense, which again is crazy. 16th rushing offense in the Big Ten for Minnesota confirmed on here. They have 7 rushing touchdowns total on the season. That is a tie for 15th in the Big Ten. They did lose Darius Taylor for a little bit. He's now back from his hamstring injury. So he's he's their guy to watch out for. They just don't have like the offensive line that's been like who kind of bullied us in years past. So I don't know. I'm not as worried about them on offense. Really, it's their defense that just constantly seems to give us fits that I think we, if they're any as good as Maryland and stuff, like sure, like we shredded Maryland, but I think they're a little bit better, and I think that they've got some dudes that can make an absolute difference back there. And it kind of starts with Coy Perich, P-R-I-C-H. That dude is trying to become Travis Hunter, like a two-way player. They used him on offense actually a few times, and he was an All-American last year at safety. So gonna have our hands full there on the offensive side of the ball. I think they also, from last year to this year, I guess the other big change, their offense, which I already mentioned, is struggling. They were 102nd in the country in returning production before this year even began. And then on defense, they had the number 9 scoring defense last year, but they are 43rd in the country in returning production. So kind of tons of turnover on both sides. They also lost their D coordinator, and I think have a new offensive coordinator as well. So tons of turnover all around. The one consistent is PJ Fleck and him being just really an annoying used car salesman.
I just think I appreciate that. All of those stats are fantastic and feel great and are encouraging, and we can win close games, all those things. This program has just broken me because I've gone into every single game the last 15 years against them and had this exact same thought of like, they don't make sense. Like, we should beat them. We're better. We're bigger. We're, like, I think even back to like that COVID game when they had like their entire starting offense was out with COVID and they beat us. They beat us 5 straight times, 6 of the last 7, and then even 2 more, like 7, 8 of the last like 12, whatever it is. With the lone win 2018 being that 53-28 one that Frost, or it was a Stanley Morgan game. Is that even Frost? That's before Frost. But all 1-score games the last 4 years, like the one in 2023 was the diabolical 13-10 last second, Rhule's first year one, 20-13 in 2022. So I guess I keep coming back to this being a 1-score game in no matter what, because that's just the way it is. It's a Friday night. It's in Minnesota. It's, an away game, back-to-back away games. We haven't won back-to-back away games since 2016. Freaking crazy. But I also, in Minnesota is such an interesting program. Like, they seem to be like, PJ Fleck's a weird guy. Like, obviously he's weird and I can't stand him because he's a used car salesman, but like, he's been there 9 seasons, which is crazy. But you're right, he's gone away from where they were like 4 or 5 years ago. He had them just absolutely ripping. And, they're top 10 in 2019, 2020. They're pretty strong. Like, they won 9 games. And the last like 2 or 3 years, they've kind of had this like weird, kind of falling off. And he also, it's like PJ's like PJ gets mentioned 0 times for anybody ever on any coaching searches. So it's like Penn State won't even look at him. Virginia Tech won't look at him. Like, he's never mentioned anywhere. So it's like, I feel like they've just like sort of flatlined. Yeah. And maybe it's NIL and they're just like struggling through that, but they do not look like the team that he had 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. Can I just give you another vindicating stat?
I like vindicating stats. Yes, please.
Malachi Coleman.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he's there.
Has 1 catch.
What's he doing?
And he's appeared in 2 games, it appears to me. So that's cool. I guess I don't know. God, what a waste of talent. But anyway, I don't actually know that their O coordinator, I might have misspoken earlier, but had left, but they lost their defensive coordinator. He went down to Miami. Anyway, the biggest thing to me, I think, is like Minnesota has had a really hard time keeping up with the transfer portal. They've had a really tough time keeping up, keeping even like assistant coaches on the field. And this is like the type of program that like we refer to these as like measuring stick games, but like we should be starting to peel away from Minnesota in these circumstances. Like that's just the reality. It's not like an insult to Minnesota. I think PJ Fleck, as much as I hate to admit, he is good. He's good at working with what he's got. The fact that he's working with a new coordinator almost every single year for the last 3-4 seasons is tough. They keep taking more money elsewhere. Minnesota just does not really seem to have like the committed funding to keep their most talented guys on campus, including their coaches. So this is a program that you start to peel away from, and it starts Friday night. I don't want to see this game be close, but I absolutely would not be taking any sort of spread this game.
Yeah.
I think it's 6.5 for Nebraska. I don't know if I'm touching it.
Yeah, just the Friday night throws it off. Like but it's so much of it's different. Like I remember we played up there Friday night in one of these games, and it was like a crazy, like everybody was going to watch this game, it's biggest game of the year. This feels like a not as big. It feels like Minnesota's not going to bring the juice for this game. It feels like they're not as excited as their team. So that to me is like I'm hoping some of that evens itself out.
Yeah.
And so it's not like we're walking into this hostile environment in Minnesota. Which, by the way, do you remember when we went to that Minnesota game and it was like freezing cold and we lost? Yeah. It was like the worst game of all time.
It was the worst. And then we went to Mall of America and just cried. Yeah, I don't want that to happen to any Husker fan.
Oh, man. That was brutal.
This brings me back to probably one of the final points that I would make tonight. Nebraska fans are incredible.
Unbelievable.
I mean, not because we just had like an emotional weekend and stuff together with all other fellow Nebraska fans and family, but the fans at Maryland, like a lot of our players were like, yeah, like it was loud on their third downs at Maryland. And I guarantee it's going to be that way again up in Minnesota on Friday night. So, I mean, God, shout out to the traveling masses that just keep making lives hell for away team athletic directors and fans that are just like, oh my God, they're as loud as us. It's been awesome.
Yeah. But also, like, I mean, it's all of these fans. That's why when I keep coming back to it, drives me nuts. It's like Maryland doesn't care about football. They didn't care. They didn't show up to the game. They don't want to be there. So it's like you can't lose to these teams that do not care. You can't lose to these fan bases that do not care. They don't want to be there. And like I was trying to scroll through like Maryland's reaction to the game. There was none. Like they don't have beat writers. They don't have like it's like you can't lose to these teams that don't care.
Yeah.
And Mike Locksley cares, but he seems to be like about it. And I think Minnesota's on that beat too. Like I don't think they care that much. Like I think it's a hockey state. Like I think they sort of care, but like you just can't lose to these guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they've taken a little bit of a step back on defense this year, and that like should give us some hope. I think Nebraska fans are going to dominate the area. That should give you some hope. I think our offense hopefully is going to be juiced from what we just experienced. That should give you some hope. Our special teams is greatly improved. That's at minimum going to be a neutral battle and stuff there. That should give you some hope. Minnesota's given up 308 yards per game. That's 8th in the conference on defense. They are not great at running the ball as they typically are. They are not great at passing the ball. So I think the Backshirts could have a big day. It's just going to be a matter of can that O-line keep standing up? Shout out to them. They only gave up 1 sack against Maryland, who was previously leading the Big Ten in sacks. I think we could have ourselves a nice Friday night here. What's your score prediction?
Okay. I just saw the this is bad. I was scrolling Twitter and I just saw the interception. That was really bad. I shouldn't show that. My score prediction. So we're favored by like 6-7. I think it's just gonna be an ugly 24-17 Nebraska win.
Ooh, okay.
I do think we win.
Okay.
But I think we win only because of this new resolve that I've seen from the team.
Yeah.
But I think it's ugly. I think it's stressful, and I think it comes down to the last drive.
Yeah, like a nice special teams game.
Yeah.
I think Emmett Johnson who is from the Twin Cities. Weirback-Co. Shout out to Weirback-Co. They've got some cool gear. It's just as cool, I will admittedly say. It's just as cool as some of our HuskGuysStore.com gear. But he says Emmett Johnson Heisman campaign starts Friday evening. Well, I will correct you on that. We are well into the Emmett Johnson Heisman campaign, and it's going great so far. So, but yeah, Emmett Johnson, multiple touchdown game incoming. Book it. Going to be running angry against the team that didn't even offer him a scholarship. Unbelievable, PJ Fleck. You are something. That's all I have.
Yeah, Huskers win. Sorry, I just want to. We got to decompress live on this one. I found this is the first time I've seen a Dylan interception. So he rolls right.
You can get that off my screen now. That's fine.
So he was literally not throwing it to anybody. That's
You're
crazy.
changing the topic to a not good topic.
To a depressing one. Sorry, I'll take that off screen. I think Huskers win, but I also, and I know we haven't gotten into it. We can rapid fire through this. The rest of the season sets up extremely well for us. I think there's concerns because all of a sudden, like UCLA is good and Iowa looks great. I think USC just lost their top two running backs for the year. UCLA has lost 4 straight games, and they don't have their head coach, and they don't have wide receiver coach. Iowa does not have quarterback. Northwestern did just beat Penn State, but they stink. Penn State stinks. They don't have a coach. So we're playing 2 teams without coaches, 1 team without a quarterback. USC doesn't have their running backs. None of the teams are undefeated. USC is the highest ranked at 5-1. Everybody else has 2 or more losses for the finish the season. So obviously we're taking 1 game at a time in Minnesota, but that's what kills me about Minnesota is you win this game, you're 6-1, and you are heading into a stretch that extremely favorable, but you get the bowl game off your back. So that's where it's 1 game at a time. You got to just win them. But I think the back half of the schedule, you do not have Oregon on there. You don't have Indiana on there. You don't have Ohio State. You don't have any of the top 3 teams. You don't even have any of the top 5 teams. Yeah. I guess USC might be up there. But other than that, it's Northwestern's a bottom team. UCLA is the second to worst team. It sets up well if we keep playing well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Every single game is winnable and every single game is very losable. And that's what's somewhat of a frightening thought, I guess.
We were 5-1 last year and we finished 1-5 to finish the season. So it's you just can't do that. Don't do that. Right. Do something else.
No, I think if Matt Rhule really wants this Penn State job, he better show up now. So
that's what's funny about Friday is the irony of if he the irony of if Rhule if he loses Friday, they'll be yeah, forget it, we don't want you. And it's then we're oh great, we get to keep him, but then you're wait, we get to keep him because he can't beat Minnesota. That's not good. All right. All good, everybody. Thanks for joining us. 3,000 plus joined us live for this thing tonight. We had a great time. Thanks everybody for joining. Make sure you follow us. Check out Huskers. We've got over 150,000 Husker fans that follow us on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Check us out there. We're posting highlights, all sorts of good stuff, all sorts of positive energy, juju. Go to the HuskGuysStore.com. Check out HuskGuysStore.com. We just got these cool new hats. Run the ball gear. If we die, we die. All the great stuff. A lot of new Nebraska vintage gear on there that we're excited about. Check it out. Shout out to Gaga, our grandmother who passed away last week, for willing us to victory these last 2 weeks. And may she rest well in heaven. It
was indeed a miracle.
A miracle. Thanks to Gaga. And thanks everybody for joining us, and have a great night.
Well said.